I knew I knew a little bit. You know, I mean, I was reading up all about it at the time that it happened. But that line that Ryan's character says about, you know, you've probably got a couple of lines just to make yourself not sound like a dumbass was exactly me. You know, you start getting into more details, and I was lost, intimidated, feeling like I couldn't possibly comprehend at all. And the thing that is surprising is about this film is that it shows it to be far simpler than you think. You know, once you get past the sort of legalese, you know, the lingua franca of the Wall Street tools, and you understand it from a very human point of view, it's not that complex. And surprising that you can have a film about this that's so bloody entertaining, so funny, and so heartbreaking and terrifying at the same time. And the fact that you know, many people have been saying it. Hey, nothing's changed. In fact, maybe the situation has gotten worse. But you sort of always, there's this trusting element that most of us have of like, that can't possibly be true. These incredible minds that say things that confuse the hell out of me, they must be able to figure this all out, and they haven't. You know, and this very well could happen again. Absolutely, because I mean, there's that one moment when the Brad Pitt's character, you know, says for every 1% drop in employment, 40,000 people die. You know, I mean, this is something which is just not about these aren't just statistics; these are human lives. He's a very charming, very unique individual, a stupendous brain on him. Knows himself very well, creates an environment that he knows he works in best, where it's a lot of solitude. He absolutely is obsessed with numbers, with analysis. His motivation for being in this is really not making money. It's about his absolute love of the numbers, and as a consequence, he makes a fortune for his clients and for himself as well. But he's generally a very ethical and positive individual, and he does not generally like to look for shorts, meaning betting against companies and etc. And it's a negative investment. He generally likes longs, which is a positive investment, a belief in something that it will grow and it will be productive. He is an expert. He is the expert. You know what I mean? I mean, there was nobody who called it sooner than he did. You know, he's an outsider willingly. You know, he has no desire. He's one of the least vain men you'll ever come across, which is the complete opposite of the cliched idea of a Wall Street gent, isn't it? You know, the least power mad person you'll ever come across. You know, he does it because he has a genuine love for what he does. Yeah, sent me all of his clothes. You know, he's very particular about what shorts he wears, what t-shirts he wears. It's all about not distracting thought. You know, he's kind of almost this being of pure thought, even though he's a very physically strong man. And during this time, he was lifting heavy weights. He got very ill from the stress of the time as well. But you know, he hates clothes that distract him, and so he told me the brands, the very few brands that there are on the t-shirts, and then he just said, you know what, I'll just send you my own clothes, and so I got the FedEx pack. No, I don't meet anybody. I'm all on my Todd, and you know, I don't know if it's a healthy thing socially, but I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It's just me in a room. The voice of Adam McKay, you know, because he often speaks on a mic and just sort of talking me through scenes, and or just telling me how awful I was being, and cracking jokes. He's one of the funniest guys you'll ever come across, and smartest as well. And I had a wonderful time. It was a great vibe. The crew were fantastic, and I kick-started the whole thing. You know, it was the first week was my week. The reason being that he has been obsessed and angered with this since it occurred. He has an incredible knowledge about the whole thing, and is able to bring his comedic talents to making this a very approachable story, which otherwise would have been a very daunting piece for people to approach as a film. You know, you don't immediately think the financial crisis of 2008 is going to make a wonderful film, but he's managed to crack that. Yes. You know, yeah, he breaks all the rules. You know, and Hank Corwin, the editor, what a job he did as well. Yeah, I'd been getting silly on trampolines and stuff, and I'd smashed all my ligaments in my knees. So yeah, the scream at the end of that scene is sort of absolutely sincere. Yeah, I loved it. It was a real crash course. You know, there's nothing better than a deadline of knowing, hey, you're getting filmed. playing the drums in 2 weeks to learn, and what I wanted to start with, Pantera's by Demons Be Driven. It was fantastic. He does, yes. It is talked about in the book, so I don't feel like I'm saying anything that is not already known. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and he's absolute joy as company. He's an incredibly positive individual, and just phenomenally brilliant.